I've been putting off the Bad Batch for a while, so I think it's finally time to talk about the last 3 episodes. So I did a review of it with the other YouTuber named Little Blue. Check out that review. And so I can't believe season 2 of the Bad Batch is already over. Like, I remember waiting for season 2 and wonder when it's gonna come out, and now it's already came and went. Time flies. And so it's been confirmed by various social media platforms that season 3 is the final season of the Bad Batch. So that's pretty sad, but let's talk about the last 3 episodes. Anyway, let's get started. Tipping Point. So this is a good episode because we finally get an episode where the Batch are all in one episode. Like, we don't have episodes where it's just Crosshair, but then one episode is just the Batch or a few members. This is the proper episode that we get everyone together. Like Echo, we finally see what Echo's up to. It looks like he's rallying up clone troopers. Like, he's rescued Commander Hauser, I'm pretty sure, and from like back in season 1. And we also get a cameo from Commander Gregor. And we're seeing how the Empire is growing. Like every time they look for answers, they end up using like this shock collar thing that has them. It's basically like a suicide collar. And so I think they do rescue some clones and then go back to Coruscant to meet up with that one senator from the Palpatine episode. And basically, I think we didn't see Rex. I wish we could have saw Rex, but oh well. And so Echo decides to meet up with the Batch since he's got a signal on Pabu since they're still there. And it looks like things are going well for them on Pabu. Like, Omega and Tech are learning to fly the ship. Wrecker's fishing. And I guess Hunter's kind of just rallying up the civilians. And then Echo finally shows up, and then Omega's excited to see him. And Echo's just like, it hasn't been that long. And she says it feels like it's been long. Honestly, I agree, since Echo wasn't in majority of the season since he left after the Coruscant arc. But it's finally nice to see him. And meanwhile, Crosshair is now imprisoned for killing Nolan. They didn't say it was just because of that. They said it's because they have plans for him. Honestly, it could be plans to turn him into like a sort of like cyborg sniper, like that one clone trooper we saw back in the Coruscant arc. Honestly, they could explore that stuff in season 3 more, I guess. And the doctors basically try to experiment on Crosshair. Like, they used the little drone thing on him. And honestly, I feel bad for Crosshair. I know he's done bad things in this show, but you're kind of just rooting for him to get out of there and maybe reunite with the Batch. And it's showing how sloppy he is since he gets hit by a bunch of drugs. Like, he's having trouble shooting. He does end up taking out the doctor. He some reason stuns her. I don't know why he did that. And he then tries to take down as many troops, but she even told him, like, it's impossible to escape. And I think that's what happened. Crosshair got knocked out, and I think that's it for Crosshair. And so I think the Batch basically get a signal from Crosshair that the clones are endangered, and I think they get it, and then that's where I think the episode leads off. So this was a pretty good episode, but the last 2 episodes are definitely, especially the last one, is definitely one of the best. And so I think the next episode is, I don't know, I forget what it's called. I think the first episode was Tipping Point. I think this episode's The Submit. Sorry if I got it wrong earlier. But basically, this episode is the Batch check out the signal from Crosshair, and then they get this signal from this one prison, well, this one Imperial base, basically, and then the Batch decide to leave Pabu to investigate. And I think Tech says goodbye to the one lady, the pirate lady, and she basically tells him that is he ever gonna act human or something instead of acting like just robotic like, and Tech's like he's just too busy with his tech stuff, and then she basically says goodbye to him, calls him Brown Eyes, and then or something, and then they take off, and this is the last time. I'll tell you later. Spoiler. So they go to the planet, and then they try to figure out a way to get on board this train station thing that's kind of like in New York where you get transported, and they use like these grapple hooks to get attached to the place, and then they find their way to sneak in. They even get past the blockade, and basically they have this one. They try to sneak in, and they see a bunch of stormtroopers there, and their armor's different still. And they do run into, I think, Saw Gerrera. Honestly, I was a bit surprised to see him. And he references what happened all the way back in the first episode where they met up. And now, because things are different, they've moved forward, I guess, from each other. And then I thought they were going to, like, team up, but they kind of just talk a bit. Then we also get to see a conversation with Tarkin. So looks like he's having a meeting, and he's meeting with this one scientist guy who kind of looked familiar. I forget his name, I'm sorry. And they're basically talking about what's to do with the clone project. And it wasn't how I knew it was Director Krennic in this episode. I looked up, and it looks like Ben Mendelsohn reprised his role as Director Krennic. So I never thought we'd see a Rogue One cameo from that movie, and we even get a reference to the Death Star, Project Stardust. So that's a nice touch to Rogue One, I guess. And basically, the batch leave the place, and they go on they get what they need to find where I think Crosshair is or whatever, or other clones, the facility. And then they go on to the back on the transport ship, but something bad happens. Saw Gerrera does something I don't like. He ends up causing the train station to collide and get stuck and get damaged. And then Grand Moff Tarkin orders something that it kind of reminds me of back in season 1. And back in season 1, he ordered the Kamino station to get destroyed, and then we were worried the batch was gonna die. But then the finale, it's basically them trying to get out of the Kamino facility. And basically, Tarkin orders a bunch of starfighters to take down the train station, and it causes them to get stuck, like I said. And that's where it leads to the season 2 finale. Okay, so this is where the episode gets really intense. So, basically, Tech gets off board of the train station to help get running and moving. He has the almost near-death experience where he gets almost shot down, and he's trying not to. And he does help out with the shuttle. And then he uses like his grapple hook to get back on board, but because the train station looks like it's ready to fall apart, he's having a hard time getting back on board. And Wrecker's telling him do not shoot the line so they can move forward on the shuttle. But then Tech does the unfortunate. He says a pretty chilling line. He goes, "When have we ever followed orders?" And then he shoots the line, and then he falls, and then the batch yell, "No!" And honestly, Tech's death gave me chills. I'm just like, whoa. I wanted to see a scene where the batch and Crosshair, they all reunite. But no, looks like they lost an unfortunate member. Like, Tech didn't do too much in the Bad Batch, but I feel like this season he does do some things, and I feel like this is his moment to shine. He sacrifices himself like any other clone. All clones have at least sacrificed themselves to help their brothers live. because that's what they do. Good soldiers follow orders. But honestly, it's a good line to remember. Like, do the clones really ever follow orders besides Order 66? I was thinking if Tech would survive the fall, but honestly, I don't think anyone can survive a fall like that. We've seen clones get thrown off cliffs, get electrocuted to death by falling off a cliff. Like, I don't think he survived. Like, Tech wasn't my favorite Bad Batch member, but this moment definitely made me appreciate him more. And so the Batch are just devastated. And they decide to go back to Sid for some reason. And honestly, it's revealed that she betrayed them. And also, they also did fall off the shuttle thing, and they end up crashing. And they did survive, but Omega got seriously injured. And, well, it was more of an easy fix, I guess, for her. And so they're back at Sid's place. I don't know why they chose to go back. They honestly agreed to go back to Pabu and stay there for the rest of their lives. And so what happens is Sid betrays them. I honestly saw it coming because she threatened to out them, and she did. She honestly looked like she felt bad, but I'm not rooting for Sid in this. She was always slimy to me. And so it looks like the Imperials and the one scientist guy are at the place, and he shows the goggles of Tech. And it looks like it's confirmed that he died. Unfortunate. And he captures Wrecker, who has like this neck cast on, and he threatens to kill both Hunter and Wrecker if they don't turn in Omega. But it was all a trick, and Omega gets stunned and then captured by the Empire, and Echo basically rescues Hunter and Wrecker, and then they all escape, and then it leaves off of them trying to go search for Omega, and looks like Omega is on the one planet, the forest planet. I think it's Mount Tantus, I'm pretty sure. And she finds an unconscious Crosshair. And it's kind of weird, because, like, Crosshair and the Batch didn't have any interaction this season a lot. You can probably count Omega, but they didn't have a conversation since Crosshair is unconscious. Just imagine if they made the news that Crosshair has no scenes with the Batch. Like, that would be something to confirm. Maybe I think they'll get a scene together in season 3. We just have to wait and see what happens. And it's revealed at the end that the one scientist lady was stunned by Crosshair. It's revealed that she's actually the sister of Omega. But then the episode ends, and they left off in a cliffhanger. Kind of reminded me of Andor, because it ends with Andor and Luthen at Andor says that Luthen can turn himself in, but episode ends, and then you gotta wait till season 2 of Andor. And just like with the Bad Batch, we gotta wait till season 3, and it's confirmed to come out in 2024. So not that far away. Just gotta wait a year. It'll probably come before you know it. We just gotta wait patient. So that's the Bad Batch. So I'm gonna give my honest thoughts about the Bad Batch this season. I thought it was a pretty decent season. I didn't think it was as good as season 1. There were some rocky episodes. Like, some of the greater episodes were like the Crosshair episodes. I feel like those episodes did mostly well because of the way they explored the clones. I thought the Coruscant episodes were pretty cool, but most of the episodes I felt were kind of just simple adventure episodes, and I felt like they were just doing them to fill in runtime for the episode selection. But I think there are some stuff stored for season 3 for sure. I don't know how I'd rate these episodes. I'd leave that up for your interpretation. I don't know if I'll talk about the season 3 of the Bad Batch. I maybe will. Maybe just review the entire season, maybe. So I think that's it. I hope you like this review. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.